The GCPCL, the Global Colloquium program at Harvard, was an interesting experience for me. Okay. It actually adds a lot of value to my teaching experience. It brought to light how cases are not only how they are taught, but how a faculty actually prepares them and how he learns to teach with other faculty, which is something in our institute at this point of time at NMIMS. We're just starting off, and that is team teaching and group teaching. And the sort of rapport that you need to have not only with your students but also with your fellow teachers.
What did I learn from the Global Colloquium for Participant-Centered Learning? It had been a great eye-opener for me, and most critical learnings were in terms of how do I put the student in the center of the teaching learning process. I got the insight that it's a collective learning process. Trust the students and carry on the dialogue with them. There is no one best way of conducting the cases. We are practicing it at NMIMS, and we are edging ahead with the case learning method as a commonly practiced, engaging methodology for teaching at NMIMS. What are the challenges? Leading a case is like having a dinner party. There are challenges in terms of framing the exercises, careful active listening, and an ambience of willingness to share opinion and stimulant to learning to be given to the student is a major challenge for the teacher.
Harvard was a very enriching learning experience. I think the most significant learnings for me was the fact that there is no one set way to teach a case. Different faculty members there had diverse opinions. A lot of them felt that you leave the students with a lot of ambiguity. There's no closure to a case, and that was what we at NMIMS believed. And fortunately, a theory which I didn't really subscribe to. But I'm glad when I went there, there were certain faculty members who had a bit of the lecture method also while teaching the case, which was very gratifying for me because that's something that I've always believed in. And so that was one huge learning experience, that, like I mentioned, that there's no one set way of teaching a case. And the other one is that the faculty has to be very well prepared, not just with the case, but with the background of the students. And that was a huge learning experience for me. That how do you enable the background of the student? I mean, how do you bring your knowledge of the background of the student into the classroom to facilitate the learning process? For instance, it is a case on marketing, and you know that the student has a particular background in that area. How you use his inputs to enrich the learning process in the class. Also, I get a strong feeling that sometimes in class the case threatens to run away from you because there are so many areas that a case can really go into, and that it is a faculty who decides. They call it the pasture. That's the analogy that they use in Harvard. That how the faculty decides which pasture the students must graze in. So it was a fantastic learning experience.